week 10 of the fantasy basketball season. Here's a few forwards you should drop off your roster this week. The first guy's Bobby Portis of the Milwaukee Bucks. Portis, he's been pretty solid this season in fantasy basketball and a good pickup for the Milwaukee Bucks after leaving the Knicks in free agency on the season. He's ranked 92 in fantasy basketball with 11.2 points a game, 7.3 rebounds, 1.1 assists, 1.1 threes a game, 54% from the field, and 65% from the line. But the last couple weeks now, the numbers and the ranking have dropped here for Bobby Portis. 8.3 points a game, 7.3 rebounds, 1.3 assists, 48% from the field, and a 184 ranking for Portis in the time. And his minutes, they've been anywhere the whole season from 20 to 30 minutes, but the last couple games he's only maxed out at 24 minutes as Portis. And right now I think this Buck team, they're trying to find their identity again after losing 5 in a row. Winning the last 2 here, we're playing less guys off the bench, less minutes, and that's what we're seeing here with Bobby Portis. In the last 3 games, he hasn't really put up huge numbers. February 18th versus Toronto, 2.7 rebounds, 2 assists. February 19th versus the OKC Thunder, 7.8 boards, 1 assist, and 37% from the field. And then February 21st versus Sacramento, 8.8 boards and 2 threes. So Portis, he's not having the big games like he had last week or 2 weeks ago. And right now, like I said, the minutes are going down. This Buck team, they're trying to regroup and get things back together. And now I don't think we're gonna see Bobby Portis in the lineup that much or that frequent coming off the bench, playing 30, 35 minutes anymore. He's more going to be a 15 to 23 minute type of player, and I don't think he'll have great production the rest of the season. And right now, he's still owned in 57% of fantasy leagues, but I think that number goes down as the production will, and he's definitely a droppable player with better options on the wire this week. The second guy to drop this week at the forward position is Darius Bazley of the OKC Thunder. Bazley, he's a youngster, obviously. This Thunder team, a lot of young bucks on this team, and a lot of young guys who are going to be inconsistent and tough to own in fantasy basketball. And right now, Bazley, he's not really having the good games. And on the season, he's ranked 203 in fantasy basketball, 11.8 points a game, 7.2 rebounds, 1.7 assists, 1.5 threes a game, 76% from the foul line, and only 39% from the field. And Bazley, the last couple weeks, it's pretty much been the same type of numbers for him. 145 ranking in the time, 11 points a game, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 1.8 threes a game, 37% from the field. So he's not shooting the ball well at all from the field. He's hurting a lot of field goal percentages. He's not that great of a rebounder, averaging 7 on the season, but the last few weeks only averaging 6. He'll get about 2 assists a game. He don't really hit the 3 ball that consistent. And his free throw shooting's good, but he's not putting up numbers really that are eye-popping or huge for fantasy owners. And he's been dropped already in 2% of fantasy leagues this week, so I think there's better options on the wire. And with this Thunder team, obviously he's going to get a lot of playing opportunities and chances to show what he could do for this Thunder team as they're rebuilding the next few seasons. But it just hasn't been there for Bazley. The last 3 games, February 19th at Milwaukee, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 2 threes. February 21st at Cleveland, 4 points, 7 rebounds. And then February 22nd versus Miami, 13 points, 5 boards, and 3 threes. So that was a good game for him. But those double-digit games are few and far between for Bazley. And the 3-point shooting, which is key for him to get the scoring going. Because if he hits 2 or less threes a game, he's only in single-digit scoring. Like I said, the rebounding ain't that great. And he don't really get assists or steals. So Bazley, I think he's droppable. And the third and final forward, I would drop this week, Miles Bridges of the Charlotte Hornets. Bridges, he's been inconsistent this season in fantasy basketball. He's ranked 133, 9.7 points a game, 5.6 rebounds, 1.9 assists, 1.3 threes a game. He's nice from the foul line though, 94%, and a decent shooting percentage, 47% from the field, but the last couple weeks, the numbers have driven down for Bridges. Ranked 145 in the time, 7.5 points a game, 3.5 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 1.5 threes, 50% from the field, which is still pretty solid, but there's a lot of good shooters and decent players on this Hornet team this year. And Bridges last season, he was great, but the numbers, they've dropped drastically for him from last season to this season. His points per game have gone down 3. The rebounds are the same, the assists are the same, and his field goal's gone up a little, but he's not producing enough big games or consistency in one category to be owned in most fantasy leagues, in my opinion. And I think Bridges is droppable. The last 3 games, February 14th versus San Antonio, 5 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal, and a block. February 20th versus the Golden State Warriors, 10 points, 4 rebounds, an assist, and 2 threes. And then his last ball game last night, February 22nd at Utah, 5 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals. So he's not doing anything great. He gives you a few categories, but he's not consistent enough, I believe, to be rostered in 10 to 12 team leagues. And his percentage ownage is 53% on the season, but I think that could drop even more as the weeks go on. So that's a few forwards I would look to drop here in week 10 of the fantasy basketball season.